everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm not in front of the bookshelf because I'm not talking about a book today. I am talking about a TV series, which is why this is Series Sunday. I am talking about the show Third Rock from the Sun today because I recently binge watched it all, from the beginning, on All 4. If you're overseas, I'm not completely sure where you'll find it, but I don't know if it's on like Netflix or any of the others, but for me it was, the entire thing was on All 4. This show was on from 96 to 2001, so this was around about the same time as doing like Friends, Will and Grace, that kind of thing. Third Rock from the Sun. People don't talk about this show, but it was bloody brilliant. It was on the same time as Friends and all those other classic ones that we always remember. But Third Rock from the Sun just did something that Friends didn't. And I think it mainly has to do with the fact that they're aliens. If you don't know the premise of Third Rock from the Sun, it's about 4 aliens that come to Earth on a mission to find out about human life forms. And over the seasons, them observing the behaviour of humans gets them into real tricky situations, and it is just brilliant. Because they're aliens, they could push this so much further than so many other sitcoms did or were doing at the time, because the whole point is that they're aliens and they don't know any better. So, the main characters are Dick, Sally, Harry and Tommy. Those are the 4 aliens, and they're played by John Lithgow, Kristen Johnston, French Stewart and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, a very young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And then they have Mary Albright, which is Dick's love interest, played by Jane Curtin. And then there's Nina Campbell, which is Dick's assistant, played by Simbi Carley. Mamie Dubček, which is their landlady, because they live in her attic, played by Elle-Marie Wendell. And then you've got Officer Don Orville, which is Sally's love interest, played by Wayne Knight. And this show is just pure brilliance. I watched a behind the scenes thing of when they were making the final episode, and John Lithgow said that the reason they could get away with so much was because they're aliens. And yeah, John Lithgow is just genius.
Don't blame us, we didn't know we're aliens.
His son is even in this show, Ian Lithgow, as one of the students, and how I never realised that those two were related to each other, I have no idea, first time round, because Ian Lithgow is the spitting image of his father. So how we went through not connecting that Leon, the student, was the real life son of Dick Solomon, it just, yeah. I love the fact that the main love interest is Dick and Mary. They are established in the first episode as late 30s, early 40s, and you don't see that as much anymore. It's very young based nowadays. And yeah, the fact that those two were the main love interest about the whole thing is just brilliant. And admittedly, the main relationship that you are really rooting for throughout all of it is Sally and Don, because Sally, being played by Kristen Johnston, is just pure magic. There are compilations on YouTube of the best moments of Sally figuring out herself out as a woman.
What do you think? They seem to have greater power when they collide. I'm not wrong, am I?
Because it's implied that they don't have sex and gender on their home planet, and Sally has never been a woman before, and so she's going through finding out about things, you know, understanding her breasts, understanding what her body's going through. There's a whole episode about her going on the pill and understanding what that means. There's an episode about her losing her virginity, and it's done absolutely brilliantly. The politics, just the way they address everything is just so utterly brilliant. And the guest stars they have through it are just awesome. When Joseph Gordon-Levitt was filming 10 Things I Hate About You, Larissa Oleynik came into the series for 3 seasons, I think it was, season 4, season 5 and season 6 she was in, playing Tommy's girlfriend. So those little things that you see going through the different guest stars. You got Jan Hooks, who was famous for SNL, she's on there as Vicky Dubček, so Mrs. Dubček's daughter, who has the most incredible love story with Harry, played by French Stewart. there was John Cleese as Liam Neeson, not Neeson, Liam Neeson, who you later find out is actually on his own alien mission because he is an alien himself. And there's William Shatner is like the best one as the big giant head. I mean, to be fair, all of them have their moments, but Fred Stewart as Harry is just one of the greatest things in the world. When I read about his audition for Harry, he went in, they loved him, he came out, so happy, went home and got high. Then he was invited back later the same day, and the Harry squint was born. If you've seen the show, you'll know that throughout a lot of the show, Harry's like this, just squinting all the time, and that was born out of him being invited back to meet everybody after getting high after a really successful audition. And I just think that is hilarious that such an important part of that character was born out of something so silly about him getting excited about having a really, really good audition, and he was brought back and they're just like, can you come back, we want you to meet more people, and he's just there going, shit. What do I do? But if anything, it just added to it.
Where's my shoes?
Well, I think I saw one of them right over there.
Oh my God! It's Harry! His cranial micro receiver is activated.
Transmission incoming from the big giant head.
I've seen a reunion interview that they all did together as like a panel, and they talked about like their favourite moments, and they talked about how they got along well with each other, and it brings back one of the best moments in the entire series, where there is a body switch episode where Dick and Sally swap places. That is one of my favourite episodes of the whole thing, because seeing Sally as Dick and Dick as Sally, and the way they copy each other's mannerisms, it's spot on. And Kristen Johnston saying that the main thing that got her into playing Dick was the I'm gorgeous.
Oh no! Where are my boobs? I've got them! You're me!
Dick? What? Ah!
Oh great!
What happened? The big giant head just switched their bodies.
Wow. Oh my God! I'm gorgeous!
It's such a brilliant show, and I need to get ready for work, so I need to wrap this up. But yeah, I just had to talk about the fact that I rewatched this show and just how good it is, and the comedy, and just how they address things that were happening in real life regarding politics, sexism, racism. I'll admit, on All For, when I was watching it, quite a few of the episodes had a little disclaimer at the beginning saying this show contains dated humour. And yeah, some of it is dated because it was made in the 90s, but I think a lot of it would still work because the fact is they are still aliens and they were learning about life. And so there was no other way to really do it. So when Dick suddenly realises that his assistant is black, he had been treating her normally throughout the entire series. When he notices and realises that Nina has been treated differently because of her race, and he was just like, well, why? And it was just like, oh, does that mean I'm something? And I think that was another favourite for the cast of the episode where they find out they're Jewish. It's so funny and so powerful, and it gets so much the nitty gritty because it's studying human behaviour. It's just brilliant. And yeah, William Shatner, the big giant head, was just perfection. He just suits that role so well. The stories that I've heard of, like how Bill Shatner and John Lithgow pranked people on days when he was there, and it's just like, oh, this was just absolutely perfect. Kristen Johnston as Sally is just my favourite thing in the world. I love Kristen Johnston. After I watched this, I went and watched a show called The X's, which was on TV Land, which was just brilliant and perfection. And yeah, Kristen Johnston is just absolutely fabulous. And if you haven't watched the TV series Mom, the US series starring Anna Faris, Kristen Johnston actually comes in for the last 2 or 3 seasons, and she was perfect on that as well. So Kristen Johnston is one of my heroes now. I mean, I think she's always been up there, but yeah.
I've got him! I've got him!
Hey, lady. We only let children climb in the ball pit.
That is so sick.
That family of characters is just absolute perfection, and this series was brilliant, and I'm sure in a few years down the road I'm going to watch it all again. But yeah, I just had to talk about this show just because of how brilliant it was at what it did. And just the connections to SNL and the fact that obviously Jane Curtin was just the straight man through all of it. Jane Curtin as Mary is just... it's just genius. The whole thing was just genius. It was created by Bonnie and Terry Turner. Just brilliant. Third Rock from the Sun, people. Brilliant show. Anyway, I need to get dressed for work. So thank you so much for seeing me just waffle on about Third Rock from the Sun. If you haven't watched it, in the UK it's on all four. Check your listings, check your streaming services to find out where it is if you haven't watched it. It was just such a brilliant show that just pushed the boundaries in a way that no other show could do at the time, because it was alien studying human behaviour. It could just get away with murder. What a nice way to end it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time with another video. Bye my lovelies.
Kiss you again.